Hello out there. We're on the air. What the heck's something feels weird here. What's weird? What's going on? Welcome back to another day, another episode, another edition of the Daily Bitcoin Journey. This is 368 episodes we've done so far. And still going pretty strong, I would say. This one's titled The Road to Becoming a Wholecoiner. And this show itself focuses on two things: actionable and logical discussion for Bitcoiners and future Bitcoiners. I guess that's not two things. That's one thing combined, split up into two: actionable, logical. You know what it is. You know what I'm trying to say. And the foundation here, this is what we focus on every day on the Bitcoin journey. Be the guy, protect the sats, enjoy the ride. We got some changes coming. We got some changes coming to the show. Let's just say that in a year from now, I might not be here. I'll be here in this spot. I just won't be here. Whatever that means. I don't know. I'm working on a couple things and I'm pretty excited about it. And it'll be fun. It's always nice to shake things up a little bit. Change is good. You always got to be moving, agile. That's the one thing that we have. The one words aren't coming to my brain right now. It's Monday morning. It's early. I've been up early. Had a long weekend. We did some glow golfing here on the weekend, and I was up till about 3:30 one night. And that's way too late for me. What's the word I'm looking for here? Not benefit. Advantage. The one advantage we have is we're fast. We're agile. The people we're fighting against, the entities we're fighting against are very fat, slow, bloated dipshits. A lot of dipshits out there. Speaking of dipshits, Scotty is not one of them. Scotty on Rumble's here. We got Ginger. Ginger's back. Good to see you, Ginger. Scotty says, I think I took a wrong turn on the road to wholecoiner land. Well, that's what we're going to try to sort out today, Scotty boy. Let me get active here a little bit. All right, we got Sats and Sunsets is in the house. We got Todd is here. We got Sharon B. Said, good morning, Lucky, Arn, and Jor. In that order? Thanks a lot, Sharon. Johnny's here. Top of the morning, Johnny. Timber Crasher. Sir Hacks a lot. Soars. I think it's Soars. Soars? Soars. Kind of like Jor, but with an S in front of it. And at the end. Exactly like Jor, except an S at the start and at the end of it. Nav's here. Good morning, Nav. Bitcoin's on sale. That's right. Bitcoin is on sale today, I think. What are we at? The DCA should be big today. Should be our biggest DCA in a while. Zap.stream. How we doing over there? Oh, it's another day you get to choose between. Classic Zap stream. I guess we should tell Nostr that we're live. I'm surprised Josh and Letha aren't over there yet. Oh, they might be. There's a couple people there. But we should notify Nostr. Send out the bat signal. We are live for our 200th day in a row of getting to choose between sovereignty and slavery. There we go. All right, Scotty's over there. He zapped 99 sats to start the show. He said, hello, which direction to wholecoiner land, please? You're going to have to head about 5 miles east, Scotty. Actually, about 5,000 miles west. Oh, what's going on here? We got, we're unstable. We're unstable. I'll just give it a second till we get back to normal here. What happened to 367? Good question. What did happen to 367? Did I miss it? Am I shortcutting? Am I trying to shortcut my shows? Make me look better than I am? No, I did. We did a show with Rajat. We did a show with Rajat. Let me double check that because I might have missed one. I mean, I'm error prone for sure. Okay, come on, internet. What the hell are we doing here? Can you guys hear me, see me loud and clear? There we go. Okay, let me double check that. I don't want to be skipping things here. 367 was, I mean, kind of a shortcut. I kind of cheated one day here. But not really. We did it on Saturday. It was a real live show. It was on the channel. I would say that counts. We're counting that as 367. I don't care what anybody says. It's my channel, my rules. Right? So 367 was Saturday. I did a show with Rajat and I. I'll share it with you here if you haven't seen it yet. Because it was a sneaky Saturday show. Rajat texted me 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. Said, "Do you want to go live?" I said, "Sure, give me 45 minutes." And we did. So that was 367. I'm counting it. It counts. Counts for sure. Bitcoin technician Trent is in the house. Good morning, Trent. Good to see you, my friend. Solar Satoshis is here. We got California Joe. Good morning, brother. Good morning to you. Joshua's over in here. Morning, Rumble. Comment, like, Nostr, be honor, eh? There he is, Josh, right there. All right, Zapstreams. Nostr is here. Nostr has showed up officially. Rumble has also showed up. YouTube, a little behind. But we'll get you there. We'll get you there. Envarini. Good morning. Tommy. Great name, Tommy. VHF is here. Lauren is here. Sharon V is saluting. The Bitcoin nurse is here. CB Van. Oh, we got some new faces in here today, folks. It's good to see. Good to see. Soars. I'm going with Soars. I don't know if that's the way to pronounce it or not, but Jake says, don't forget 12:30 smash buy today, eh? I got it set in my phone. I got it set. I've been buying. Bad Gal B. Reminds me of Bad Girl Riri. That was Rihanna's Instagram for a while. Bad Girl Riri. Bad Gal B. Good morning. Jake says, give the like button a little tap. A little taparoo. Tap, tap, taparoo. Loud and clear. Right on. Smashed. Nice. Did I? I got to share that in Rumble. There we go. There's that chat with Rajat. It's actually a really good show. We talked about a lot of different things. I like Rajat. Me and him vibe pretty well together. Common courtesy. You come into the chat, you have to hit the like button. Yeah, I mean, one option to that, one thing I could do is I could actually limit the chat to be only subscribers, but I feel like most people are subscribed. And I gave one guy shit for doing that one time. So that would make me a hypocrite. And we don't need any more hypocrites in this world. So you're free to chat, but we do encourage you to like, to love, to zap, and to subscribe if you're not already. Okay, so we got 36 people in Rumble and 13 likes. Not bad, not great. We got some stuff happening over on the Zap stream too. So we got Josh is over there. We got the Bitcoin nurse. We got Josh who sent in 8,888 sats and said, good morning, y'all. Luxter, meow twice for no liberal hands on our Bitcoin. We thought Lucky was a bear today. I don't know if he's getting fat or something, but we have another office in the house that's up on the second floor, kind of away from here. And thought there was a bear on the deck today, but it turned out it was just Lucky. It looked big though. I kind of believed it for a while, but then I saw his tail, and bears don't have tails. So we mistook Lucky for a bear this morning. But it is bear country here. Every day we walk on the road, there's a new pile of bear poop. So I think the bears are kind of scrambling around looking for a place to hibernate. Imagine hibernating for 6 months. Be wild. But the bear poops I don't know if you've ever seen a bear poop or not, but they're big. They're big, they're black, and they're 100% full of berries. Saw a bear the other day too, driving. Tom, sats per dollar is on the rise. Up and at 'em. That's right. Groovy Shoe, another day, another greatest day to stack sats. Amen. Is the bid axe noisy when it's on? No. Mine's running right now. You can't even hear it. Root is God. Let's go. How serious are we to end big scale wars once and for all? Yeah, did you guys see that video I shared the other day? I don't usually share videos on Saturday night. Was this Saturday night? Yeah, Saturday night. The YouTube algorithm doesn't like it very much when you share things when your subscribers are not around. But I had to get it out there. It was I called it the most important video I've ever made. And I was going to watch the video today on the show, but I figured if you want to watch it, you could just go watch it because it's already on YouTube. So I'm going to share the link here for everybody. If you haven't watched this one yet, please do. And if you don't mind, make sure you like it and leave a little comment on there so it gets in front of more people. I mean, even if you've watched it, I would encourage you to go leave a little comment on it because it's important. And kind of the message in that video was that, yeah, it's great to the number go up is great. Things get cheaper, great. Ability to send money anywhere in the planet, great. But like, there's something much bigger happening here with Bitcoin, much bigger. And that's what the video was about. It was talking about ending wars and people saying that Bitcoin's used by criminals when in fact every war has been started by fiat. Every war we've had has been banker wars. But yes, we are serious. We're doing our best around here. That's for sure. Hi from Earth. Oh, sorry. Not from Earth. Hi from Texas. Is that Buck 52? Seems like something Buck 52 would call himself. I don't know if Buck 52 is from Texas, so I forget. Osnell says, do you recommend the Trezor Safe 3? I'm looking for hardware wallets. Thanks in advance, my friend. So Osnell, I would say Trezor Safe 3, okay. It's okay. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. So, I mean, if you're kind of set on getting a Trezor, then yeah, the Trezor Safe 3 is good. I'm pretty sure you can put that one into Bitcoin only mode as well. You can get you can either order as a Bitcoin only wallet, or you can just download the firmware, I believe, that's Bitcoin only. I mean, I still suggest people get the cold card. That's what I use myself. I think it's the best option. Trezor Safe. No, sorry. I think only the Trezor Safe 5 is Bitcoin only. Let me bring this up. I don't hate Trezors, honestly. I don't love the fact that they plug into a computer. But this one I think is pretty decent. It's this one here, the Trezor Safe 5, Bitcoin only. So the older version of Trezors actually don't have a secure element in it. And I'm just going to double check to see if the Safe 3 has a secure element. No. See? That's why you don't want to get the Trezor Safe 3. It does not have a secure element on it. So I changed my mind. I changed my answer to that. I would say no, do not get the Trezor 3. If you're going to get a Trezor, get the 5 and get the Bitcoin only version of it. See, it has a secure element here. Trezor was the first one that I had, actually, the first device that I had. $269 though. I mean, that's pretty much the same as The cold card. So with that in mind, I mean, I would just get the cold card personally. Shelby Roth says, what's at 12:30? That's the time of the week we do our smash buys. We've discovered that was the best time of the week to be buying Bitcoin. So now we do 12:30 Eastern time, I believe. Yeah, 12:30 Eastern time smash buy. Buck52 says, howdy doody. There he is. Orville says, good morning, Bitcoin fam. Good morning, Orville. Joe from California is here. Good morning, Joe from California. Is that Joe? Are you both here? California Joe? I'm assuming. I think that's a pretty safe assumption to make, that California Joe is the same person as Joe from California. I mean, there can't be that many Joes from California in this chat. Samuel says, hello from Mexico. I'm buying more Bitcoin. Thanks. I learned a lot from you, my friend. Right on. Good to hear that, Samuel. Thanks for sharing that. Ian says, good morning, gang. Jor and Arnie been crazy busy with work and family holiday. Hope we all are okay and happy stacking friends. Ian, we have missed you. We have noticed and we have missed you. Ian is one of the biggest supporters of the channel here. So it's good you're busy, man. It's good you're enjoying the summertime. It's short. Good to see you here today, though. Crypto Flip, you got my like and I'm new. Right on. Oh, Crypto Philip, sorry. I like Crypto Flip. Actually, I would like Bitcoin Philip better. Why not subscribe and like? Exactly. It's free to do. Free to do. Forced Hottle and hibernation. Crypto Philip says, I have a ledger, but I believe you're a proponent. What's a better option and why? I mean, we just talked about the treasures. I would say that that's a better option than the ledger because you can have it as Bitcoin only. Whenever you're picking a device, whenever you're picking an exchange, whenever you're picking anything regarding Bitcoin, you make sure it's Bitcoin only. Ledger is not Bitcoin only, but I see you're a crypto guy or girl. So ledgers, what I would do if I were you is I would get myself one of these cold card Q, and put your Bitcoin on here, and then keep your ledger and just use put all your shit coins on the ledger, because this device does not hold shit coins. This is Bitcoin only. You want everything to be Bitcoin only, because you know, there's just less vulnerabilities with it. There's less things that can go wrong. Anytime you got to be compatible with different chains and different coins and different tokens and different NFTs, there's just more attack vectors there. That's how I see it anyways. I'm kind of like a dummy. I'm like the left side of the bell curve on terms of technology stuff. So I just keep it like really logical. And it would make sense if there's only one thing being stored on there, that it would be safer than 2,000 different things being stored on there. Treasure 3, happy with it. No issues at all. Old School's here. Good morning, Old School. Oh, that was Old School before. Scotty says, I watched it. Laughable that people think Bitcoin is used by criminals more than fiat. Yeah, exactly. That was the point of the video. It was a good video. Not Buck52. Okay. Well, you guys would get along. You guys would get along. Tom says, cold card Q score. Score. What does that mean, Tom? Score. Out of 10? I would give it a 12. Matt's here. Good morning. You saw a bear driving. Was it driving? No. It was just a little baby bear. He kind of had his head sticking out of the long grass on the highway, and then he saw me coming and just bolted. He was not driving. What would a bear drive, I wonder? What vehicle would a bear drive? It would have to be big enough to fit in it. I'd say if a bear was driving, it'd probably be like in a 1986 Ford F-250. I think that's what a bear would drive. Be my guess. Treasure 3 does have a secure element, does it? Okay, well, it doesn't say it on the website. Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe they just didn't put it on the first But I don't know if this is the Treasure 3 or not. Let's ask Perplexity. I don't want to be given wrong information here. But old school, if you have it, I'm sure you've done the homework on it. So I believe you. I'm just going to verify here, though. Does the cold card actually has 2 secure elements? I don't know why you need 2, but I'm guessing in case somebody gets past the first one, there's a backup one there. It's like trying to attack a fortress. You can get past the bow and arrows, but then you got to get past the alligators. So I like 2 secure elements over 1. Does the Treasure 3 safe have a secure element? It's kind of hard for me to type here because I'm holding the microphone. The fuck was that? Okay, so it says yes, the Treasure 3 does have a secure element. Specifically, it uses EAL6 Plus certified secure element chip, designed to provide robust hardware level protection against physical attacks and unauthorized access. Okay, there you go. It does have one. Do you clean your bidax? Yes, I do. I got one of these. I would suggest that anybody with any sort of hardware equipment uses something like this, because it gets pretty, especially if you have a dog, especially like Arnie. Arnie hates this thing. Scares him. But yeah, it gets dusty. It gets full of just random shit. So you want to keep that bidax clean. So I usually clean mine every couple weeks. That is Joe on YouTube. Gotcha. Thought so. Praetorian's here. Good morning, Praetorian. Is the cold card easy to use? Yes. Killer says, good morning. Killer, you're late, man. 9:04. The first comment was 8:30. 34 minutes late today, Killer. What's up with that? Scotty says, drive a Pajero. What the hell's a Pajero? Praetorian says, I finished The Creature from Jekyll Island. Nice. Did that? I've never read the book. I've heard a lot of good things, though, and I'm a big fan. But did they mention the Titanic at all in that book? Anything to do with the Titanic? Or is that just a conspiracy theory? The hell is I doing here? There we go. Better off with the Treasure 5, says Praetorian. Yeah, I mean, if I was getting a Treasure, which I'm not, but if I was, I would definitely go with the Treasure 5, because you can get it Bitcoin only. Buck52 says, what kind of car does a bear drive? A Ferrari. Oh yeah, Bitcoin nurse ahead of me here. Got it right. Bitcoin technician Trent says a baby bear would be driving a Kia Soul like those hamsters in the commercials. Yeah. Every time I see one of those freaking Kias, that's what I think of. I just picture hamsters driving in it. The hamster mobile. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. That's why. That's right. That's right. Sir Haxalot gets it. Bitcoin's still going 112,000. What are your thoughts? Crypto Philip, my friend, I appreciate you being here, but you get one question. You get one question on the YouTubes, and then if you want more discussion, you got to be on Rumble. So we gave you the free one. We gave you the freebie today. Get yourself over on Rumble. There you go. Old School says, yeah, might as well get the 5. You're going to get one. I agree. Joe says, sending 4,444 sats for the kids, Arnie and Lucky. Well, thank you, Joe. I'm guessing Joe usually sends to the Speed wallet. Speed. Oh, man, I didn't know this ticker was still on there. Whoops. All right. Yes, we received a Joe. Thank you, my friend. And we got 368. I'm guessing that's from Sats and Sunsets. And then we got 555 sats. I'm guessing those are from Sharon B. So thank you. Thank you to the zappers. Hey, Kev's here. More enjoying the Living the Future family. Happy Monday. Working and listening. No problem. Killer, I'm just giving you shit. Listen to the audiobook. Nice. Sharon B says 1963 Lincoln Continental convertible. Yeah, that probably makes sense because it's like a boat. It'd be like a boat, and bears are pretty big. And then they could have the sunroof open, so then their head would be high enough. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Orville says, tip of the day, don't sleep on Sparrow Wallet. You can import your wallet and manage your UTXOs very effectively. You can always ask Jor for help, wanky face. That's right. Sparrow Wallet is the best in the game. If you're a serious Bitcoiner, you should be using Sparrow to manage your Bitcoin. If you're not a serious Bitcoiner, I don't really know what you're doing here. Sparrowwallet.com. For Lucky. Well, thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Kev says, I just read a post that has predicted that Bitcoin will flip gold by market cap in 2032, which will mean 1.1 million per coin. Interesting. I mean, if I were to read a post predicting when that'll happen, I think it'll happen well before 2032. Well before. All right, what do we got here? Josh over on the Nostr chat says, I lost my shake streak. 101 days, gonzo. But on the upside, Neil Young was awesome at the old amphitheater last night. Do we like Neil Young? I thought we didn't like Neil Young. Here's a pic from Josh. I don't think I like Neil Young. Looks like that guitar is way too small too. Or he's a giant. Either he's using a really small guitar or he's a giant. I thought there were some issues with Neil Young. I kind of boycotted him. I forget why though. I think it was something to do with the old shot in the arm. Anyways, ID Sarah? Idzera says test worked. Your test worked. Success. Okay. Oh, and we got Duncan's here. There he is. There's our guy. Morning, everyone. Working but listening. DCA en route. Received 2606. So that is August 18th. I don't think we got one on the 15th. I think we're skunked that day. I think we were skunked. Let me bring this up here. So this is our DCA. This is our dollar coffee average. We call it. I think that was coined by our good friend Laughpad, who's been busy working at a Bitcoin mining company. But I'm going to share that in the chat there. You actually don't need Nostr to use that. That is, as long as you have a Lightning wallet on your phone, you should be able to use that, hopefully. So this is the page here, Zapjora Coffee. So you can send $3 worth of dollars, the equivalent of a coffee. And it changes every day. So this is how we track the price. The dollars is always 3, but the SAT amount always changes. So that's kind of how we track the price of Bitcoin around here. And today it was 2606. And that was from Duncan. Looks like Duncan's the only one that's been using it lately. We had a large variety of people before, but it looks like Duncan's the only one holding the fort right now. But we got 2,606 sats, which is kind of like the beauty of Bitcoin, is that when Bitcoin's up in fiat terms, our net worth is up. Everything's cheaper for us. But when Bitcoin's down in fiat terms, we get more. You can buy more. You earn more. You can convert your daily salary into more. So it's kind of like a win-win. You really can't lose in Bitcoin. But look at that nice picture from Duncan. That looks like a new coat of arms. Is it coat of arms? Bitcoin. And it says Bailey at the bottom. That's badass. That's badass. B for badass. Neil Young shits on the US and he's from Canada. Yeah, I don't think I like Neil Young. Bad Gal B says, sorry to hear about your shake pay streak. It happens to the best of us. Yeah, I've lost a couple big ones. I think the biggest one I lost was like 545. That was a tough one. That was a tough day. And then I just lost it a couple weeks ago at our golf tournament. It's usually when you're doing something, when you're busy, usually that's when things go south. Okay, and I should also bring up the Zap King here. So August 15th, was that the last day? Yeah, it must have been. So we actually had somebody who sent in 15,000 sats, and I still don't know who it was. So if you're watching the show today, and that was you, please let me know. So it might have been Letha too. That seems like something Letha would do, but we cannot confirm that. So August 15th was anonymous, and today we don't know who it is yet, but we do have a couple candidates so far. We have Josh with the biggest one so far, and I see that we received a couple more here. 5757, and I'm guessing that was from Todd. That'd be my guess. So thank you, Todd. And somebody sent in 469. That's a new one. I do not recognize that one. So yes, this is the Zap King. So far, who do we got here? Who's in the lead so far in August? Cedar Sats has 1. Conrad has 1. Josh has 1. Letha has 3. Sats and Sunsets has 1. Solar Satoshis has 1. Todd has 1. Letha's in the lead. Letha is in the lead. So far, it's Josh today. Paulie says, Neil Young is a disconnected authoritarian traitor who turned on the very rebels and freedom fighters who he used to represent. Fuck him. Okay, there it is. There it is, folks. You heard it here. What does Josh have to say about that? He's pretty liberal, hates the USA, but I respect the legend of Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young. That's fair. See, I can't do it. I can't do it. Whenever there's like an artist that comes out, whether it's somebody like P. Diddy, who did a lot of bad things, P. Diddy, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Neil Young, the Foo Fighters, who else? Rage Against the Machine. I can't listen to their songs after something happens that I disagree with. I just can't. I can't support them because I know that every time I listen to one of their songs, they benefit from that. And so the one thing that I can do is vote with my attention. Vote with my attention. And I don't want to give attention or streams and views to people I don't like. So that's just me. That's just me. Todd says, Neil Young, great songwriter, guitarist, and performer, but highly questionable politics. Yeah, and I mean, that's his choice, right? That's his choice. I just don't agree with it. So I'm not going to support him. Bitcoin Kitty says, I ordered Jade. I don't know how to store the pin because if I lose the device, it's worthless, right? Yeah, I mean, if you're air gapping it, I'm pretty sure you need to have your QR code that's like your seed phrase, and you have to keep that in a safe place because if you lose that, then you lose your Bitcoin. So I mean, I know I've kind of been promoting Jade a little bit on here, but I don't really love the Jade, honestly. I think that if I had a choice, so I would say like the top 4 wallets that I use or devices that I usually recommend would be like Jade, Trezor, Cold Card, Passport. I think my order of those would be, and probably people are going to get mad about this, but whatever. I think it would honestly be Cold Card, Passport, Trezor, Jade. Jade's secure. The Jade's good. There's no issues with the Jade. Like don't misinterpret my words here. I'm not saying the Jades are bad. I'm just saying that from my experience with the Jades, They're hard to set up. You need like a good webcam, otherwise it's not gonna work. You can always just connect it to your laptop and use like the Bitcoin, what's it called? The Green? I think it's called the Green software. So I mean, I don't know. I just find them too hard to use. People think that they're easy because that's kind of been the narrative online. But from my experience, the cold card is actually much easier to use than the Jade. I just had too many issues with it. So again, I'm not saying they're not safe. They're not secure. They're just kind of a pain in the ass more than anything. Andrew says, got a cold card the other day and created my own seed phrase using 256 pennies, ones and zeros. Pretty cool for advanced users. Takes some time, but learned a lot. So that would kind of be the equivalent of the dice rolls, like the a replacement to the dice rolls. That's kind of cool. It just adds more randomness, adds more entropy to it. That's cool. Praetorian says, try Bitcoin Blast. I'll give you a HAC. What's an HAC? Simon says, howdy, Jor. I came to the conclusion that Caspa most likely still has a long way to go. All eyes are on Bitcoin after all, and especially nowadays. But have you seen that recent Ethereum pump? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I've come to the conclusion that Caspa most likely still has a long way to go. All eyes are on Bitcoin after all, especially nowadays. Yeah, I mean, Ethereum has been just a pain in the ass. Even my dad yesterday is like, what's going on with Ethereum? So I'm pretty sure there has to be some sort of narrative in like the mainstream that Ethereum is somehow the next Bitcoin. I'm guessing that's kind of what they're promoting it as. Ethereum is just a complete shit show, though. If I had a choice between owning Caspa and Ethereum, I would own Caspa. I hate Ethereum. I hate everything to do with Ethereum. It's not what people think it is, and it's not a store of value. And neither is Caspa. That's my issue with Caspa, and I'm not going to talk too much about it. But my main issue with Caspa is that they claim that it's a medium of exchange. That's what it's going to be used for. But in order to be a medium of exchange, you have to go through the route of collectible, store of value, and then a medium of exchange. You can't just jump to that. And the reason why Bitcoin is going to be a medium of exchange is because it's the best store of value. And so as a business owner, somebody who's adding value and products and services to the world, they get to decide what they accept. And if the best store of value is indeed Bitcoin, which it is, why would you want to accept something else? Why wouldn't you just accept the best store of value? It doesn't make any sense. So like you can get into a bunch of different reasons of why Bitcoin's far superior to Caspa, but like that's the main one, is that they're trying to shortcut. They're trying to shortcut, and it's not going to work because in order to be a medium of exchange, it has to have value. And Caspa has no value. You can't skip that part of it. So, I mean, if you're holding Caspa right now, you're going to lose. That's all. And Ethereum too. You're going to lose. So if you like losing, then sure. Do as you wish. Praetorian says hack. I'll give you a hack. What's Bitcoin? I don't even know what Bitcoin Blast is, Praetorian. Orville says, also zapped you a row of boobs. Hope it keeps the lights on. Thank you. I don't know where that went to. Must have been to Arnie's wallet. Row of boobs. There it is. Arnie boy. Arnie boy gets some boobs this morning. Nice. Thank you, Orville. That's very nice of you. 3,333 sats. Appreciate that a lot. And look at this. We got Praetorian with a $20 super chat. Wow, I love that. Orange. Very nice. Thank you, Praetorian. Hope you got your BitAxe up and running. Actually, I broke my BitAxe the other day. I was starting the show, and I forget what I was doing, but it fell off. I think it's still okay, but I'm going to give it another shot here. I think I got it fixed. Haven't got it plugged in yet, though. But I do appreciate it. Dalton says, yo, Jor, got my hardware wallet set up. Next is a NOTS node. what kind of hardware you get. Buck52 says, I'd be curious to know on which side most Bitcoiners fall politically. I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think politics are kind of dying. Politics are a dying breed. Nobody gives a shit anymore. World's decentralizing, and politicians are going to be left behind. The one thing I have noticed, so within Bitcoiners, is that a lot of them feel like there's a spiritual connection. There's a spiritual, I mean, even that video I shared the other day, the guy was talking about Jesus. There are some weird connections between, and again, I don't claim to be a religious expert at all. I'm probably the furthest thing from that. But at a very surface level, it does kind of make sense. There's a couple real connections there between, let's say, Bitcoin and the Bible. But I forget where we were even talking about this the other day. Maybe it was in our Maple Bitcoin masterclass we did. But I said the cool thing about like the Bitcoin code, the Bitcoin code kind of reminds me of like the 10 commandments in the Bible. It's like you don't really have to, like you don't have to follow that, but it's there. You can voluntarily opt in, and that's kind of like the code. The 10 commandments will say it's kind of like the code that everybody follows, even though everybody has different things going on in their life, different interests, different whatever. You all kind of agree that these are the way, to live properly. Again, I'm not going to sit here and talk about religion, so maybe I should just shut up. But I do see a lot of connections. I definitely do see a lot of connections between Bitcoin and religion. I'd say that that's more important than like values. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like your values, what you believe in, your core beliefs. It seems like most Bitcoiners are fairly well aligned with that. But even if they're not, even if they have different beliefs and different religions and whatever that may be, everybody running Bitcoin, they all agree on that's the consensus. That's the code that we want to follow. COVID is a scam says, what about the Keystone Pro 3? Never used it. Don't have a comment on it. Andrew says, wicked smart Bitcoin has a video. About what? Oh, about the pennies. Gotcha. PP, how high do you see the price annual growth of Bitcoin? There's no real growth of Bitcoin. I mean, there is, the demand will grow, which is going to make sats more valuable. But what's really happening is the fiat dollar is getting less and less valuable every day. And you can exchange it for less and less sats. That's what's happening. Bitcoin isn't going up. Bitcoin doesn't change. Bitcoin's just Bitcoin. Praetorian says, what do you say to people who say you got lucky? My reply is no, I ate bologna and played so many Bitcoin games I broke my thumbnails off. Yeah. I mean, that's one way to put it. So eating bologna means you're saving money. I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. So maybe we'll just put this one kind of aside for a second. I just want to make sure I don't have any meetings here right away. I had a meeting before the show today, actually. Believe that or not. Calendar. Oh, we got a couple meetings later today. One of those names I recognize. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoiners know we didn't get lucky. And even if other people think we got lucky, you know what we should do? We should watch that video from American Hottle. He talks about this. I've really been enjoying it. I love American Hottle. I've been enjoying his videos, his vlog, or his vlog, as Odell called it, vlog. Nostr's catching on. Nostr is definitely catching on. It's kind of like Bitcoin, though. It's going to take some time. But kind of my thoughts on that is like, we are lucky. And Bitcoiners would be like, what? We're not lucky. But yeah, we are. We're very lucky. We're not lucky to be here in Bitcoin. We're not lucky to have the conviction that we have in Bitcoin, but we're lucky to be born right now. Because if this thing turns out to be what we think it is, and people are going to be using Bitcoin for the next 1,000 years, we are pretty lucky to be here 16 years into Bitcoin and have the ability to accumulate Bitcoin right now. Because there's going to come a day where you just simply can't buy Bitcoin. And so the fact that we can still trade $1 that somebody else can print for Bitcoin, we're pretty lucky. And we're also pretty lucky to be here before the countries show up. Because when the people who actually do have the ability to print money, when they start buying Bitcoin, that's when it's going to be over for most people. And that's why we kind of have to be serious about this stuff right now, because that day is coming soon, I think. And I kind of mentioned, I gave a little teaser away in terms of the Bitcoin journey and where the show is going to go. And so my plan in the future, actually, I'll give you guys a little inside baseball here. Just a little bit, just a little wee taste. But I want to start doing a different format to show. I'm going to start having conversations with people. And maybe I'm going to start like I don't know if you would call it a waiting list, because I'm probably going to have to like ask people to be on my show. It's not like there'll be people banging down the doors to get on my show. But I want to have like a conversation, a live conversation with a different Bitcoiner every day and live. So I don't have to do any edits. I don't have to do anything like that. We'll just have it at the same time every day. And it'll be just a conversation about Bitcoin. And I'm going to call, actually, I won't give away the name of it yet. But I don't want it to be just like the, you know, who's making their rounds, like Lawrence Lepard. I don't want it to be just like somebody that everybody's already heard. I'll probably have Jeff Booth on the show and probably even Lawrence Lepard, but I want to have like average people on here for them to not just come on and tell their story, but give their take on different things and give the value, whatever knowledge and skills they have. I want them to be able to share it at a place like this. So that's kind of my plan for the future, is we're going to stop doing the daily shows here by myself, and I'm going to shift it towards having conversations with other people that people can listen in on. And then I'll probably have like a once per week live stream, kind of like on the school community, maybe, where we can save our questions for that. But yeah, I got some planning to do yet. And we probably have quite a few episodes left on here. I have a number I want to get to in terms of episodes before I do that. And it won't be like a date. It won't be like a date. It'll be like a block number, essentially. That's how I see these episodes. Like every episode that I do is like a new block in the chain, the Jor chain, which is basically my proof of work. So I'm not concerned about like starting on like January 1st, 2026. It'll be like a certain block height. I want to start doing this. So that's what we got to look forward to. I don't know if people like that or not, but that's just that's what I want to do. So we're going to do it. Ethereum hasn't even broken all-time high like all shit coins. Yeah, Ethereum's a joke. What about pin storage? Should I put it on paper or steel? Steel. Well, I don't know. I kind of go back and forth between that. Let me take a thought on that for a second. So we got a couple things happening over on Nostr chat right now. We got the Bitcoin nurse says, doesn't Jade use an online oracle for authorization? I don't trust any of that. Cold Card or Passport Foundation is the way for sure. People don't even know what Bitcoin is. This is from the Bitcoin nurse. They sure as hell are not going to know what Caspa is. Exactly. Another big part of it too, the network effect. Nobody cares about Caspa. That's their whole problem. They're not a store of value. They might be a better medium exchange than Bitcoin layer 1, but nobody cares. And if you want to become a store of value, people have to care. And you can't skip that phase. That's why Bitcoin is playing out exactly how it should. Collectible, you might argue that we're actually still in the collectible phase based on the percentage of people who actually understand what Bitcoin is. and then it becomes a store of value. And then because it's a good store of value, people want to accept it as payment. And so the people who add value to the world, the people who create things, they're the ones who decide the direction of the future. And I don't think too many people are going to want to accept Caspa because it's not a store of value. So even if it is a medium exchange, it's not a store of value. Bitcoin Blast is a game. Gotcha. Politically, Caspa is not at all decentralized. Exactly. They have a CEO or a founder who has very questionable political beliefs. Casper is a ghost. That's right. Scotty zapped 99 sats and said, I got my first wild sats on Nostr the other day. It was cool. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like people always ask me, one of the main questions I always get is like, Jor, how do I get more non-KYC Bitcoin? How do I get non-KYC Bitcoin? And it's like, well, get on Nostr. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to have like a VPN and a Faraday box and a tinfoil over your roof. Just get on Nostr and start posting. That's how you get non-KYC Bitcoin. Easiest way. Todd says, hasn't anyone who spent any reasonable amount of time in Bitcoin already acknowledged that it is a medium exchange? Yeah, agreed. People accept Bitcoin every day. I do. That was my post last night on Nostr. I said, get paid in Bitcoin. Another great way to get non-KYC Bitcoin, offer a product or service to the world and accept Bitcoin. Really good way to get non-KYC Bitcoin. And again, that's the whole point. That's what you have to keep in mind here is like, why is it going to become a medium of exchange? It's because the people who are accepting payment are going to want the best store of value. From a business owner's perspective, why would I want to accept Caspa, which I convert into Bitcoin? Why would I want to accept fiat, which I have to convert into Bitcoin? Why would I want to accept Ethereum when I want to store it in Bitcoin? Why would I be the person who has to do that conversion? Why don't I just accept the best store of value, which is Bitcoin? Why would I go through the steps of accepting something and then having to convert it into Bitcoin? Why wouldn't I just accept Bitcoin? It's really not that complicated. It's just people like to overthink things like that. Praetorian says Vitalik would have to pass away before Ethereum could take a grip. I think it's in the same class as Litecoin. I would say that Litecoin's, I mean, yeah, Litecoin's more useful, I think. Litecoin is also a better medium exchange than Caspa, I would say. If that's what you want to, if you're comparing things that are fast, cheap, and yeah, and Litecoin's not decentralized either, I don't think. Although, is it? I'm not a Litecoin expert. I know they have a founder. We know who the founder is, so that itself kind of defeats that. I think it was Charlie Lee. Anyways, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a waste of time and energy. Who cares? Distractions. Zenjamin says, agreed on the spiritual level. Simon says, I still got my million sats, but I appreciate your thoughts on Bitcoin compared to Caspa. I'm just looking for opportunities to be super early, perhaps in the next Bitcoin 2.0 proof of work, but I get it. Well, Simon, let me tell you this. You are still super early in Bitcoin. Because one day when we're still thinking in fiat terms, if you're still measuring Bitcoin in fiat terms, it's going to cost you more than $1 in fiat terms to buy one sat one day. So to me, that would suggest that we are still super early because today you can still buy 800 sats with $1. So that's, I feel like there's so many people out there who have the same kind of sentiment in terms of looking for opportunities to be early in it just because of the unit bias, but that has nothing to do with it. Because that suggests to me that you're still thinking in fiat terms. You're still living in the fiat world. You're still measuring things and comparing things and valuing things in fiat, when the fiat system is a complete illusion in itself. Real PG says Nostr is so confusing. What? How is it confusing? Couldn't even set up my account, and I'm not technically dumb, but apparently I am. It's not that hard at all. All you have to do is use any account, any app, whether it's Primal, Amethyst, Domus, Nostrudel, Nostr, probably missing 10 others. Create an account, you get a private key and a public key. Keep those safe. Keep your private key safe. And you can actually use that private key to bounce between different apps within Nostr. It's not hard at all. It's actually very simple. Public key, private key, just like Bitcoin. Keep it safe. And yeah, every single person watching the show today should be on Nostr. You're really missing out if you're not. Scotty says, did someone say average? And sap 99 sats. One conversation every block sounds tough. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I think of these episodes that I have here every morning, like the Daily Bitcoin Journey. I think of them as like blocks in my chain, proof of work. Because somebody who's done one show doesn't have the same value as somebody who's done 400 shows. Just like Bitcoin. Back when Bitcoin had like the Genesis block and then 100 blocks and then 1,000 blocks, Bitcoin was worth nothing at that time. But every block that goes by, Bitcoin becomes more valuable. As time goes on, Bitcoin becomes more valuable. Old School says Bitcoin exchange balances get lower every day. Yep. McJake says, has anyone given BitChat a go? Feels very Matrix-like. I haven't tried it yet, but I would like to. Nav says, I'll give my take live. All right. All right. I like that. Mike says, trying to get a Lightning address and learn more about it. Augusta. Mike, you're in Augusta? Damn. Good for you. Trying to get a Lightning address. So you're in Augusta. So I would say it's pretty simple, Mike. Two things. First thing I would do is I would go to aqua.net. Aqua.net. Let me put it in the chat here for you. Aqua.net. This is going to be your Aqua wallet. You're going to use this today. You're going to use this in the future. Nice thing about Aqua is you can keep Bitcoin on there on layer 1, and you can also keep Bitcoin on there on layer 2, Lightning. And I use Aqua pretty much every day. I store some Bitcoin on there. I store some Lightning on there, some Liquid. You can also store USDT on there, and you can use it to swap between each one. So if you want to move Bitcoin from layer 1 to Lightning, you can do that within the Aqua wallet. And then from there, if you want to get a Lightning address, that's what you use Speed for. Speed.app. So you use both these in tandem. It's not one or the other. You get Aqua and you get Speed. With Speed, when you sign up for an account on there, you can use my referral code EPNSI5. And that'll get you like 500 free sats, I believe, for signing up. But the nice thing about Speed is that it actually gives you a Lightning address. So Aqua is Lightning compatible, but it actually doesn't have a Lightning address yet. I'm guessing they will at some point. But I think it's a little bit trickier when you're using like a non-custodial wallet like Aqua. So I use Aqua and Speed and Wall to Satoshi kind of interchangeably. But yeah, and then from there, you get your Speed wallet. You customize your Lightning address. So you could use like Mike Augusta at speed.app or something short. Do a little bit of thinking on that. I mean, you can always just get a new one. All you need is an email address to get a Speed account. But like that's going to be your future, the way you accept payments and the way you send and receive payments. So just like an email address has kind of been ingrained in as part of our life, your Lightning address is going to be the same kind of thing. So as more and more people start signing up for Lightning addresses, there's going to be less and less Lightning addresses available. So that's why I say, get a couple. Get one for you, get one for your business, get one for your kid maybe, if they don't have the ability to do it yet. You kind of want to get one before everybody else shows up. So there's only one. So there will only be like 188 sats at speed.app. So you kind of want to claim that before everybody realizes that they need a Lightning address. So it's pretty simple. So from there, Mike, what I would say is you can actually download the Aqua wallet. You can send Bitcoin from here. It's easier to show. So let me bring this up here. So first thing you're going to do is going to move Bitcoin from your exchange or from like your wallet that you're using today to Aqua. So it's going to be sitting on layer 1 Aqua. That's where it's going to receive into layer 1 Aqua. And you're going to swap to layer 2. You can do that within the Speed wallet. So you send Bitcoin from your exchange to the Aqua wallet. Very easy to do. You just click receive or scan your QR code there. And then you swap it from layer 1 to layer 2 on Aqua. So then it's going to be sitting in your Lightning L2 on Aqua. And then you're actually going to go into your Speed. Go into Speed. Create invoice. So let's say you want to receive like 50,000 sats into your Speed wallet. You can create an invoice in Speed for 50,000 sats. You have to like put in the amount, and then you send out of Aqua into Speed. So you basically just paste that invoice into Aqua, and then the sats will move from Aqua to Speed. And then you have sats on Lightning. And then from there, you can send them on Nostr. You can send them to like the QR code here. You can buy things like online. There's a lot of businesses that now accept Lightning. You can also do that with Speed though too. It's just Aqua doesn't have the Lightning address, so that's the only reason why you'd move it from like Aqua to Speed. But you can also move Bitcoin from Speed to Aqua. And the nice thing about having a Lightning address is you can use it with Nostr. So when you go into Nostr, you can go into your edit profile and you add your Lightning receive address in there. So that's where if somebody zapped one of your posts, it would go to your Speed wallet. You can't use Aqua with that. You have to have like a static Lightning address. So it would be like mike@speed.app, and that's what you'd put into Nostr. And then if anybody wanted to zap you on Nostr, it would go into your Speed wallet. All right, where am I here? Bad Gal B says, made a Nostr account. Bad Gal B coin. Nice. Let me see if I can do this here for you. Because I was trying to figure out a way where I could share my Nostr with everybody here. And I think this is what I came up with for now anyways. I want to get a custom address. Actually, I guess you could do this too. Like you could just go, I'm pretty sure you could find me. So like Bad Gal B, you could find me through this. I'm pretty sure if you search this, King Golf at nostrplebs.com, I think that's like my address. But you can also just use this. So there's my public key. So if you want to just scan that, you can follow me on Nostr. So I'll leave that up there for a second, just in case anybody wants to follow me there. Just in case you're not. I'm guessing most people who watch the show here are following me on Nostr, but just in case. So I'll leave that up there for a second, and we'll keep the train moving here. There is no need for a Bitcoin 2.0. Exactly. Exactly. Protocols are a winner take all, not a winner take most. That's Jeff Booth's saying. Protocol, which is what Bitcoin is a winner take all, not winner take most. There's not going to be like some people using Caspa, some people using Bitcoin. It's going to be Bitcoin. So that's a public key. And then there's a Lightning address as well that you can use to support the channel. Dalton says Litecoin can be easily attacked by existing Bitcoin miners. Yeah, because they wouldn't have like a high hash rate, right? Mike used Speed or Sparrow. Not Sparrow, though. Jor has a video as well, I believe. Super simple on Speed. Yeah, Sparrow's not compatible with Lightning. Mike says, doing my Monday buy at 12:30. Yes. Todd says, I don't know F all about shitcoins, and I'm so thankful for that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Bitcoiners now that are get to miss that phase. Unfortunately, I did not get to skip that. I didn't have anybody telling me to stay focused. Okay, look at this. We got a couple things going on over on Zapstream. So Plunger is here. Plunger, my man, zapped in 888 sats. Thank you, Plunger. Bitcoin Backpackers also over there. Good morning, beautiful people. Nostr is Bitcoin. Ditch the decentralization and join the revolution. Backpacker also sent in 88 sats over on Nostr. Thank you, Backpacker. Appreciate that, man. Backpacker says Primal is legendary, but that's subjective. Everyone will find their favorite client to use. Yeah, so a client is just basically like an app. So all these different apps like Primal, Nostr, Damus, Amethyst, you can download all these from the App Store. So they are just like apps. They call them clients. I think that's confusing, but they're just apps. And they're all interchangeable. So you can take your private key and you can jump from Primal to Damus to Nostr. And somebody over there says burp. I don't know who that is. NPub. Random NPub says burp. Maybe Nostr account creation is too easy. Yeah. I didn't think about that, but you're right. Could be too easy. Gray's here. Gray, good morning, man. Good to see you. I think this is the Gray that I know. Gray, confirm. Is this the Gray that I know? Fanny Packer. Look at that. We got BTC Backpacker over in Nostr, and we got BTC Fanny Packer over in YouTube. Good morning, Backpacker family. Shout out to Hodler, Flipper, and Anonymous. The legends that are the Backpacker family. Or I shouldn't say the Backpacker family, the Packer family. Majo says, this isn't financial advice. Everyone is responsible for their own money. But if we're speaking purely hypothetically, I'd take out a loan and buy Bitcoin with it. If fiat loses value, Bitcoin goes up. Agreed. I cannot and will not argue that. And that's exactly what Rajat and I talked about on Saturday. This exact thing. We spent about an hour and a half talking about it. Oh, I got the tracker in there. Oh, well, whatever. So if you feel like watching that, you can. Rajat Jor live, episode 367. And look at this. We love Zaps, but we also love our Rumble rants. And Sats and Sunsets sent $1 and said, this is my transaction fee for the Jor chain. Like that. Thank you, Sats and Sunsets. Very much appreciate that. Even though I hate fiat, it helps the channel a lot. So thank you, my friend. What else we got going on here today? Gray says, no mention of LB Hub. Oh, I was going to watch that. Sorry, got to put that on pause for a sec. I was going to watch the American Hottle video. I like it. It's a good video. Big fan of American Hottle. All right, let's watch this guy. This is the new vlog series available on Nostr only. Here we go.
It's fucking 5 a.m. and I couldn't sleep, so let's go out and catch a sunrise and talk some shit.
Watching the American Hottle, Nostr only vlog. He's talking about Bitcoin and talking about life. I guess it all comes down to those two things. And you don't have to take advice from me, and you don't have to take advice from him, but you might want to give it a shot.
If you've had any kind of success in Bitcoin or otherwise, people want you to tell them that you were lucky. If you were lucky, that means that their circumstance, their situation was unlucky, which absolves them of responsibility. This is why they don't want to hear about how hard you worked or how diligent you were, the consistency you had, the plan you put in place, the grit and the determination to make it through. They just want to hear you say, I was lucky, because that absolves them of the responsibility of the last 10 years of having to look back and realize that, like, you know, you and they started in the same place oftentimes, and that they had largely the same opportunities as you, and they had the same amount of time, and your time passed, and you seem to have a lot to show for it, and their time passed, and they don't seem to have a lot to show for it. And that's a very painful realization. So why does it cause so much internal consternation? And why can't we just tell people, hey, I did get lucky, even though it's not true? It would be like a white lie for their own benefit, because it's like, hey, their time has already passed and they're not going to be able to go back and change it. So you're kind of being a rude dick by, you know, telling them they need to work hard and pull up their bootstraps and have a plan. And yes, those life paths from the last 10 years are closed to them. Once you've made your decisions, the path closes behind you. But the future is open. And the amount of potential branch realities that brought you to this point are still open to you on the other side of every waking moment. So they're not open to you 10 years ago. Can't go back and buy Bitcoin. But you can go forward and change your circumstances. At the end of the day, your time is going to pass, just like my time is going to pass. And, you know, what we have will be the product or the result of the things that we've done, the choices that we've made. I think to close on this is, you have free will. You can do whatever you want at any point. Alan Watts has this great saying where he says that you're under no obligation to be the person you were even 10 minutes ago, which means you can just go make a new choice. You can just go carve a new reality. You can just live a new life. You can just be a new person anytime you feel like it, anytime you want. Maybe right now is the day. Maybe today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe a year from now. There's no timeline. But you always have the option to choose. You're not stuck on a rigid path. You might think you are because you're looking back. But if you're looking forward, you'll realize that it's all open to you. At the end of the day, it's just you alone with your regrets. So choose wisely, friends.
Some good advice there, folks. Good advice. I mean, my follow-up to that would be, I like how he ended that one. Let me hear that again. Choose wisely. At the end of the day, or at the end of your life, I guess, it's just you alone with your regrets. So choose wisely. Yeah, I got a couple different things to say about this. First of all, that was American Hottle. That was his new Nostr series that he's doing, vlogs, whatever you want to call it. Pretty cool. And it's actually inspired quite a few people on Nostr to start vlogging themselves. I mean, you really don't have any excuses anymore. And the title of today's show was The Road to Becoming a Wholecoiner. You have zero excuses. Everything that you would ever need is literally at your fingertips right now. You have a phone. You have any idea how powerful this thing is? You could start today. You could make one video 30 seconds long, share it on Nostr. That could be your episode 1. Doesn't have to be anything groundbreaking or, game changing. Just start talking. Just start talking about what interests you and this is a vlog that I do every day. It's like a 2-hour vlog, but it's the same kind of thing. And a couple different things I've done. The first thing I would say is that you no longer need to go through all these different hoops. You don't have to go through all these hoops to get subscribers or to have X amount of people watch your shows or put in your credit card information, put in your social insurance number. You don't need any of that anymore. Most people just don't realize that, right? Like when I first started on YouTube, when I wanted to make my own vlog, Nostr wasn't available. So I had to go through the YouTube bullshit process of getting 1,000 subscribers and then getting 4,000 watch hours, 4,000 hours of people watching my show, which is very difficult. Very difficult. And it's what keeps most people from doing it, because it was probably 2 years on this channel before I even got a cent from YouTube. 2 years. How many hours and minutes was that I put into it for YouTube? You don't need that anymore. And then when I finally did get monetized here, as shitty as the payouts are, I had to put in my face. I had to put in my social insurance number. I had to connect it to my tax return. I had to put in my phone number, everything. You have to go through all that. Had to. You don't have to do that anymore. With Nostr now, you could upload a video with 0 subscribers. You get the right hashtag on there. You get the right repost from somebody on Nostr. And you could make, 100 sats, 200 sats, 20,000 sats. That post that Hottle made there, I don't know. I don't even want to know how much he made off of that. But again, this is American Hottle. This is a guy who's put in a lot of proof of work already within the Bitcoin community. So it would be a little bit difficult, I think, for some random person to just do this. But American Hottle made, 67,714 sats from that post. That's crazy. Nostr is just so damn cool. If nothing else, you can get into whatever you want to about the censorship resistant, blah, blah, blah. Nostr is just cool. It's just such a cool idea. So look at this. You got 67,714 sats from that. That's all that matters. 368 likes, cool. No one cares. 113 reposts, cool. No one cares. 145 comments, cool. No one cares. 67,000 sats. That's how you become a wholecoiner, folks. You just start fucking doing things. You don't need permission. You don't need identification. You don't need subscribers. You don't need watch hours. You don't need any of that. Just start doing it and see what happens. And I said, a lot of vlogs right now on Nostr is kind of like the trend happening on there right now, but it's cool because before that, everybody I'd see on Nostr would just be some random picture or some random AI generated profile picture. But with these kind of things, you can actually see people. It becomes more human, I think. And that might have been the thing that was kind of holding back Nostr for a while, is that it was good, but it wasn't great. So now I feel like there's a lot more things. It's only going to get better too. That's the thing. There's so many things being built on top of Nostr right now. It's only going to get better. And if you're looking for an opportunity, Simon, this is the opportunity that you should be taking advantage of. There is a massive opportunity right now on Nostr. Nobody's there yet. A lot of people are going to be there. Just imagine this. This is why I'm so excited about Nostr, because this moment hasn't happened yet. But let's say you have who's a famous Bitcoiner that's an artist? Drake. As much as I hate Drake, he's a Bitcoiner. And let's say that he said, he finds Nostr somehow. He understands, or he doesn't, maybe he doesn't understand Bitcoin, but he's a Bitcoin holder. But he says, I'm going to release this song and video, and it's only going to be available on Nostr. And he puts it out there, and he gets the equivalent of a Bitcoin from posting one song on there, just from people zapping him. It might not happen right off the bat because a lot of people would have to come over from wherever he is now. It might not happen right away, right off the bat, but eventually that's what's going to happen. There's going to be like a Drake or a Taylor Swift or a Morgan Wallen, or one of these people will join Nostr and they'll start putting out content specifically for Nostr because that's the only thing that's real. Who cares how many likes they get on Instagram? What do they care about that? But if they got 20 million sats for posting a song, that's when everything really changes. And you still have the ability to front run that because that's coming. I think anyways, it's going to be Nostr or something similar to Nostr, but I haven't seen anything that's going to replace like the network effect of Nostr. There's a lot of really influential Bitcoiners, which is like, not that influential, but that's where they are. Everybody's on Nostr. And yeah, I talk about it every day because I think it's so important that we actually use these tools, because as more and more people use these tools, more gets built. And the more that gets built, the better it becomes and the faster it grows. So that's the other thing that I was going to say there is that's what he ended with is like at the end of the day or at the end of your life, you have yourself and your regrets. And so you get to choose the path forward. And that was the one thing for me, right? Because when I was going through my little journey here in Bitcoin, I was working as a CPA. I had a really steady income, not great income, but decent, livable for sure, and going higher in fiat terms. But I was like, you know what? Even if I'm going to be broke for a while, even if I'm going to struggle for a while, I know at the end of my life, at the end of the day, as Hottle would say, I will have zero regrets. And I would much rather have zero regrets when I'm that age than a bunch of fiat or a bunch of whatever. So I was just like, you know what? If this fails, so what? At least I tried. Right? If I quit my job, I go, at this time it was King Golf that I was focused on. But it's the same kind of thing with Bitcoin. It's like, if I'm wrong, so what? I tried. I did everything that I could. I tried. And at the end of the day, I'm going to have zero regrets about that. So whether it works or it doesn't, I'm not going to have any regrets. And I think that at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It really doesn't matter how much fiat you have or how many houses you have or how much sats you have. It's how many regrets you have. That's the main measuring stick. That's what people, when they're 80, 90 years old, that's what they care about. It's not the things that they did. They might have done something stupid. They might have got a, DUI, got divorced, lost touch with their kid, whatever that may be. They might have done a lot of things, but it's the things that they didn't do, things that they wish they could go back to their 30s, 40s, 50s and say, I wish I just would have had, a little bit more balls. I wish I just would have, I knew what was going on, but I didn't do enough about it. So I think that that's the main thing is you don't want to have any sort of regrets when you're later in life. Simon says, thank you, Jory. You speak sense into me here. Be all right. Let's keep stacking. Then guess I swap it back into Bitcoin. No problemo. Yeah. I just wouldn't wait because it's not like CASP is going to gain ground on Bitcoin. It might go up in fiat terms, but it's not going to gain any ground on Bitcoin. VHF says, I plan on showing it's possible to get to 100 million sats. Praetorian says, Jora, I'm having trouble on Nostr as well. I'm using Amethyst, and every time I post, it doesn't post or save. I'm using my public key. Well, you have to log in with your private key. You can't just use your public key. So that's probably the issue that you're having is if you don't actually log in with your private key, your NSEC, then you're not going to be able to post anything. You can look at everything with your public key. It'll look the exact same, but you can't actually make a post unless you have your private key in there. And if you don't have your private key, you might want to generate a new one and write that down or save it somewhere safe. Real PG says, I stacked 0.1 between 90 to 100 and it was painful. After my first entry at 3,200, oof. Oof. What's my Twitter? I think it's Bitcoin Jor, but I don't really spend too much time on Twitter. Lauren says, no, not yet. To get you still catching up, setting up Nostr today, but need to set up a node next. I know you said contact you, but realized I didn't have a way to. Thanks. Lauren, I'm pretty sure we have a meeting today, don't we? Or are you asking somebody? Or is this a conversation with somebody else? Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad. BTC Pleb says, I just took out a loan with Ledden and crashed the Bitcoin price. Nice. Thank you for that. We're moving to Morocco when we're rich. Yeah, we're moving somewhere for sure. Somewhere, some way, somehow. Fanny Packer says, kiddos say hi, Jor. Thanks for the shout out. No worries. No worries. Yeah. Okay, that is you. Thought so. Do you know how to sell gold? Yeah, go down to Gold Shop. That's where I sold my silver. Sats and Sunset says, every time someone asks if you could go back in time and tell yourself one thing, the answer is always buy more Bitcoin. So I imagine my future self telling my present self that I should buy more Bitcoin. Exactly. And that's what kills me when people are telling me that they got cash on the sidelines or they're holding other coins and they're waiting to swap it to Bitcoin. You're gonna regret that. You just want to get as much Bitcoin as you can while we can, and let the cards fall how they fall. Save you some stress, save you some heartbreak. That's the thing with that. It's like nobody really gains a whole lot from doing that strategy, but they lose a lot using that strategy. That's what people fail to understand here. If you've been through a Bitcoin cycle before, things happen fast. Nothing's happened fast yet, but it's going to happen fast. And you're not going to be able to play catch up. That's why at any point you got cash, you got altcoins, you got anything, you flip it into Bitcoin. Nostr has farmer market vibes. I agree with that 100%. Gray says, I know the universe wants me to succeed. Opportunities in life reset daily. Life pullbacks give me strength for the next life rally. I'm dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. Damn. Take a screenshot of that, folks. Bad Gal says, like when 50 Cent sold his 2014 album, people paid with Bitcoin. One of the first to do it. 700 Bitcoin for that one 50 Cent album. Damn. So he made 700 Bitcoin. The album was for $5 or so at the time. 88,000 sats for $5. Oh, could you imagine? Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. It's like in 10 years from now, we're going to look back and say, wow, you could get 800 sats for $1. Just like 10 years ago, you could have got 88,000 sats for $5. It's just going to keep going. And everything else is going to lose compared to Bitcoin. And that's not my opinion, folks. That's the reality. Okay, so I want to share a couple more Nostr posts here. Surprise, surprise. This is another reason why you want to join Nostr. I like this post. Look at that. I'm not going to say that, but you can see it. But this is from Levitic Levititis. Says X and YouTube don't even consider you eligible for monetization until you're grown a very large follower count of thousands. On Nostr, I posted my first vlog, filmed only with my phone from under my truck, and was paid almost $5 US in the first day with less than 150 followers. Even better, those payments were in Bitcoin, settled immediately. Why would I ever go back? Hashtag Nostr only. So there you go. This post. So he said he made $5 with his vlog, filmed under his truck with his phone. And this post itself, 5,000 there from looks like Mav21, 1,111 from Odell, 615 from American Hottle himself, for a total of 10,926 sats. I mean, to me, showing stuff like this is way more effective than saying that Nostr is censorship resistant. Like, nobody cares about that. Realistically, nobody really cares about that. But when you can show real life example of real people, average people, just sharing whatever is on their mind, make it a video from under their truck, and getting paid in Bitcoin, it's a no-brainer. Like, you can't even sit here and argue with me of why you wouldn't want to do it. There's literally nothing to lose, everything to gain. Gray says, YouTube gold seller Ampex. If you're in the US, local shops will under offer or higher premiums, get the most bang for your gold. Yeah. To me, I agree with that, but I also thought that, I could go through all this trouble of finding the best price for it, taking all this time, blah, 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 shipping it. I was like, you know what? Even if I'm going to get ripped off, I'm just going to go sell this. I'm going to go down to the gold and silver shop. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to buy Bitcoin. I don't want to waste a bunch of time and energy and shit. I'd rather just dump it, buy Bitcoin. It'll pay off over the long term. It's the same as altcoins. It's like, yeah, you could wait till the price goes a little higher against Bitcoin. You could try to time it perfectly, or you could just say, you know what, fuck it. This stuff's worthless. I'm going to put it into Bitcoin. I can still get 800 sats for $1, and I'm not going to have to worry about it. I'm not going to have to stress out about it. I'm not going to have to think about it every day. I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to focus on what I care about in life. I'm not going to have to worry about checking the price. What's the price compared to Bitcoin? What percentage is it up today? None of that. I'm just going to sell it all, buy Bitcoin, focus on what I want to focus on. Life is so much more simple and stress-free when you just have Bitcoin. And you can't put a price on that. You can't put a discount or a premium or whatever it is on that. You cannot put a price on that. Just peace of mind. That's what it is. It just feels like you have so much shit off your shoulders that you don't have to think about anymore. You don't have to worry about anymore. You just buy Bitcoin, you protect it, and you focus on what you want to. You live your life. You can't take shortcuts. You can't game Bitcoin. Bitcoin is moving in one direction, and you can either join or you can get left behind. That's it. Look at this. This is pretty cool. This is another good story in terms of becoming a wholecoiner. Where is it here? Bitman. Also on Nostr. So it says this guy's going to collect the whole Bitcoin just by picking up and reselling cans for recycling. The crypto scrapper is a family man and has been a hodler for years. If you think you don't have money to save, you need to know this story. Bruno is a family man from the countryside of Sao Paulo. I think that's El Salvador. Sao Paulo. His life changed when he discovered Bitcoin. For at least 2 years, he has been selling cans to stack sats. Every week, even if it's just $1, I save. 1 kilo of cans, 70 units, yields about $5.50 in what? Reals. If collected daily, that's 165 reals per month or 26,000 sats. In 3,842 months, if the price stays stable, the cans would be worth one whole Bitcoin. This calculation illustrates the difficulty of becoming a wholecoiner nowadays and the importance of diversifying income sources. Bruno's journey began when prices were lower. So every day you put this off, you're going to look back here and say, damn, I wish I would have started doing that. I wish I would have got into Nostr. I wish I would have taken the shit that I don't need in my house and converted that to sats. I wish I would have taken Caspa, Ethereum, XRP, whatever that is, put it into Bitcoin. I would be much better off. You're always going to look back and think that. So why not just do it today? Why not start today? Along the way, he wrote 2 educational books for his daughters. Perfect example there of this. Diversifying your income sources. So this is like the new cheat code to life, documenting things, right? So let's say that you, I mean, it's kind of late now because summer's over, but like one idea that I had in the spring is that you could actually go to garage sales. You could buy very cheap items at your local market, and you could put them online to the worldwide market, which is probably going to generate better returns, right? Because when you're trying to sell something to a local market, let's say it's 10,000 people, the demand is much smaller. There might be 2 or 3 people who actually want to buy that, versus you take that item and you list it worldwide on eBay or Nostr or whatever that is. And the demand is going to be higher because there's a much bigger market, much bigger audience, much more demand. So that was kind of the idea there, is you would take something bought locally for cheap and sell it for more globally. But the other part of that too is like you could start a YouTube channel around that, and you could say, hey, I'm the garage sailor for Sats guy. I buy items at garage sale in cash and I sell them for Sats on Nostr or something like that. And you could document that, and you could actually have a secondary stream of income coming in from just documenting it. Right? That's why it says, you know, if he did this if he just collected cans, it would take him 3,842 months, a few centuries. Or you diversify your income streams. Add more spokes to the wheel of income. Add more sources. Add more ways of generating sats. You want to increase that. So that's what he did. He wrote 2 educational books for his daughters. Proof of work is relentless. The wealth that the crypto scrapper is building goes far beyond the Satoshis he stacks. Those who want to do it, do it. Those who don't, make excuses. It's kind of the theme today. If you have a friend who says, I don't have the money to save, send them the story. Oh, it's Brazil. Thanks, Kev. Brazil. My bad. Trent says, right, George, sold all my crap coins and all my stress went away almost instantly. Took a loss. Don't even care. I mean, that's the other part of it too, that people have to consider here. This is a very important part of the equation, which is when you do something like this, even if you take a loss, like let's say, I'm just going to use like a common example of somebody out there who I think might be watching this and might be trying to do this strategy. So let's say you bought XRP. We'll use that as an example. You bought XRP at $3, or what is it at now? I got to make sure I have my numbers right here so it makes sense. And I apologize if you've been sending a zap in and I missed it. I'm kind of just trying to get through this stuff. So XRP is exactly $3 today. So let's say you bought it at $3.50. Was it ever $3.50 even? Max. What's the all-time high? Yeah, so let's say you bought at the all-time high last time. You got suckered in. And you bought it at $3.50. And you're like, well, I'm going to wait until it gets back up to $3.50 so I can at least break even on it. Or I want to make a gain off it, so I'm going to wait until it's worth $4 in fiat. So a couple different things you have to consider there is, number one, it might or it might not happen. Second thing to consider is, even if it gets to $4, what's the price of Bitcoin going to be at that time? If you do plan on flipping into Bitcoin, even though the fiat price went up, you might have actually lost sats in the meantime because Bitcoin's gone up even more. Third part is that if you move from $3.50 and it becomes worth $4, you now have a capital gain there. You made money on your XRP, 50 cents. You have to sell it now to get into Bitcoin. And so you're going to have a capital gain there that you have to pay. So why not just take the loss like Trent said here? Take the loss. You don't have to worry about taxes. You can flip that into Bitcoin, and you're probably never going to sell your Bitcoin, so you might never pay taxes on that. So if you're waiting to get ahead in fiat terms, you're just setting yourself up for unnecessary taxes. Like, that's what people who are holding altcoins waiting to flip it into Bitcoin are missing, or waiting for it to get back to break even or make a profit off it. You're going to have to pay tax on that. That's so stupid. Like Trent said here, sell it at a loss, flip it to Bitcoin, reduce your stress, and delay your taxes with the fastest horse. That's the strategy. That's what you want to do. And that's what everybody's not considering here when they're waiting for their altcoins to get higher to flip into Bitcoin. They're just creating so much unnecessary stress, worry, taxes, wasting time. It's a stupid strategy, straight up. Don't be stupid. It's like Dwight Schrute says. The rule is, every time I go to do something, I ask myself, would a stupid person do this thing? And if they would, then I don't do that thing. right? No one pays taxes on crypto. Well, there is people who are dumb enough that do pay taxes on crypto. So it's definitely not nobody pays tax on crypto. I know people personally in my own life who have paid tax on crypto. Moro's here. Good morning, Moro. Holy shit, we're almost at 2 hours here. I got to go. I'm off the rails here. I'm over my time limit. I'm over my time limit. Oh, something happened here. That's a big zap. Somebody sent in 7,777 sats. I would guess right off the bat that would be Joey from Sats Venture, but I haven't seen him here. So I don't know who sent that in. God bless you, though, whoever sent that in. Wow. Very, very, very generous of you. Gray says, my sister always said she doesn't have extra money to buy Bitcoin. I told her to pick up cans. They're everywhere. Now she is buying Bitcoin. 60-year-old woman finally listening to her older brother. Impressive. There's no excuses. Zero excuses. BTC Pleb says, I've been selling my Bitcoin for years and never paid. The penal codes aren't there. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I'm just saying that there definitely are people out there who do pay tax on their crypto. Todd 777. Oh, that was Todd. So much value, Jor. Also love the Dwight Schrute reference. Okay, so that's Todd. Todd is officially the current Zap King for today. We should note that before we forget. Thank you, Todd. Very, very generous of you, my friend. So that was what? We got 5757 plus 7777. So Todd, as of now, is that's a good number too. The current Zap King, 13,534 sats. Thank you, Todd. And that would make Todd give Todd his second crown of the month so far. If nobody outdoes him. We open it up to the people who watch the recorded show. So if you would like to outdo Todd today, you got to beat 13,534 sats. Thank you, Todd. Kev says, DCing out of my XRP 50 at a time, only 300 left. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And I mean, you're definitely doing the right thing. It's just like, that's so much time that you're wasting doing that. Like if I had 300 XRP right now, I'd flip it to Bitcoin this second. Regardless of what the price of Bitcoin is today, it's down. So it's a good day to do it. But it's just like, you don't need that. You don't need that stress. You don't need to be worrying about, taking time out of your day to do that. Just fucking get it done. And then you're done. You're in Bitcoin. I respect it. You're doing the right thing. I'm just telling you my take on it because that's what I do. Same people asking when's the next big Bitcoin dip. Exactly. The Bitcoin bull run hasn't even begun yet. So I don't know when the dip's going to be. I don't know why we're thinking about dips already. And again, it's like when the price of Bitcoin is $100 million per coin in fiat terms, do you think you're going to remember whether you got Bitcoin for 70,000 or 100,000 or 200,000? No. The only thing you're going to remember is that you waited too long to swap it for Bitcoin. That's it. It's the only regret you're going to have. Orville says, I feel so bad for people saying they're waiting for the next dip. Yeah, it's just like, it's a lack of understanding. That's what it is. It's just a complete lack of understanding of what's happening here. All right, I got to hit the road here. I don't have to, but I'm kind of going on too long. So a couple different things here. Bitcoin Backpacker asked, Jor, thoughts on cross-posting content, YouTube, Rumble, Nostr. I know what I think wanted. Okay, so I know what I think wanted to get your take on this. Basically, thoughts on content flow and creating. That's a good question. That's a good question. My take on that is number one, just start. Just start, whether it's on Nostr, Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, whatever it is, start somewhere. Just start sharing your thoughts. Take a picture of whatever you're doing, add some context to it. Somebody out there will get value from it. So that's number one, just start. Don't try to get too fancy with it. The second thing I would say is like, figure out who your audience is. right? Because when you're cross posting, that means you're taking the same picture, the same context, and sharing it on Nostr, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble. That's not what you want to do, because on all these different platforms, there's a different user. And when you're making posts, that's who you're focused on. You obviously want to talk about whatever you want to. You want to be as authentic and genuine as possible, but you have to like cater to your audience, right? So somebody on LinkedIn is going to be much different than somebody on Nostr. And if I share the exact same post on LinkedIn and Nostr, that's a bad recipe, because the people consuming that content are there for different reasons. So you have to factor in like whatever platform you're posting on, tailor it to that audience. Don't just use you could use the same picture, but use like a different description or whatever you call it, caption or font with it. It should be different for every platform that you're posting on, based on who's there, based on what they're looking for, right? So somebody on Instagram, the way I consume Instagram is reels. So I'll look at a reel, it'll show me more, and I'll keep going. I'm not there to learn about like Bitcoin and shit. I'm there to like see some golf stuff, see what's happening, world events, things like that. Whereas on Nostr, I might be actually more interested in like a Bitcoin post. So you really have to figure out who your audience is, where you're posting it to, and kind of tailor your content to be applicable to them, if that makes sense. That's one of the best piece of advices that I got, is like every audience is different. Every audience is there for a different reason. And it's your job to tailor to that, cater to that. Bitcoin Nurse says, I sold all my XRP at 331 near the top and put it in Bitcoin. Trash altcoins are accelerators at best compared to Bitcoin. Yeah, agreed. They're just bullshit. They're called shit coins for a reason, because they're bullshit. Never too long. Plunger says, if the biggest corporations are buying Bitcoin at this price, we should have no reason to wait. The price will go up and down. Don't wait if you have a stack of fiat. Exactly. And then Backpacker said, the decentralization aspect is important because we don't have chains and can say and do what we want. Try that on YouTube and X. They'll cancel your ass. Yep. Exactly. All right, so we got 46 people over on Rumble. Big shout out to everybody on Rumble. Big shout out to everybody on Nostr. I love you all. God bless you for at least trying to be the change that you want to see in the world. And we got one rand today from Sats and Sunset, $1. So thank you for that. And some big zaps for the day. Big one, our guy Josh, the most consistent zapper and supporter of the channel, Joshua. And Todd is the Zap King today, so far. But also big shout out to Duncan, also a very, very, very consistent supporter of the channel. And shout out to everybody who's over on the Patreon, Living the Future. You guys and girls are the fuel to the fire here. Trump and his friends bought their bags. They're going to take this to the moon, 100%. We're in for one hell of a fall. September, October, November, December into 2026. This thing's going to be ripping higher than people could ever even imagine. So enjoy the dips while we got them. August is historically the lowest performing month of the year, fiat wise. So get what you can while you can, because it's not going to be like this forever, for very much longer, in fact. So there you go. PG said a Ford pickup for a bear. That's what I said too. So have yourselves a great day. Thank you for being here. I think we had a great conversation today. Hopefully you got some value into your life today. Hopefully you learned something. And I appreciate everybody who sent some value back. So if you don't have the ability to do it financially, you can like, you can comment, you can share, and you can subscribe. So that's what I got for you today. Thanks once again for being here. This is the best way to support the channel right here. And I appreciate all who have. So, oh, and I miss Joe as well. Joe and Orville, 4,444 and a row of boobs. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody there, but do my best. And Scotty, got to give a shout out to Scotty. Scotty's here every day And he sends in a lot of sats, 99 sats each time. So big shout out to Scotty. Thanks, everybody. Have yourselves a great day, and we'll talk to you right back here tomorrow for the Tesla episode 369. I'll try to come up with something. Have a great day, everybody. The best fucking day of your entire life. You get to choose that. Bye-bye.